let's get back to playing around with the summer collection from Pretty Pink Posh. I'm loving this so much. This is the seashell wreath. I said it right this time. I always want to say she-shell. This is the seashell wreath, which I love. It's so pretty. I have the coordinating dies and we're gonna have fun with this. So I am going to stamp this out, grab some Copics. I will list everything that I'm using down below in the description box. Plus we're gonna make several cards today. So this is gonna be a long video, which I know 98% of you just go completely crazy for the longer videos. So I am going to do a nice long one today. All right, let's stamp this out and get creating. I have my Misty here. Did I tell you everything will be linked below in the description box? If not, click on the title of the video. Everything will be right there. All right, I'm going to take the wreath. Love that. Let's stamp that out. And let's have fun coloring. Now, the first card I did with this collection was this card. I will link the video of me creating this and showing you a haul of this entire release if you want to see an unboxing of that. That video will be right here, but I'm loving this color combo, so we are going to copy and paste on this card. One thing I firmly believe in is if you love a color combination, just repeat it. So I found this color combo just for a fun summery look. I was so happy with how it turned out. And since we're kind of doing the same vibe here, we are going to redo it on this card. I really want to see it come to life on this card as well. All right, I'm going to double stamp that to get some nice contrast, and we will be on our way. Alrighty then. Okay, let me grab the Copics and we will start coloring out this pretty seashell wreath. Okay, I'm pretty sure this was my color combination last time, but if I am a little off, the only one I'm not sure on are my pinks. So I'm pretty sure that this is the same color combo. I'm gonna leave this up here as inspiration, but that is where we are gonna go with creating this card. So I'm going to put some music on so that you can enjoy the coloring process. And what I like to do is I like to pick a light and a dark for each color. So yellow, pink, I have a turquoise, orange, and then I actually just have one for my brown. I'm going to do all of my shadows and highlights with one color for brown. But with my color combos, if I do have a light and a dark, I like to start with the lighter color, come in with some shading with the darker color, and then blend back out with the lighter color. Okay, I am finishing up the last of my coloring, trying to keep all of the colors evenly dispersed around the image. And now I'm going to grab the coordinating die and cut this out. Okay, this is going to take a little turning to see where this goes. Let's see. I think we're getting close there. Okay. When you know, you know. It will just look right. All right, I'm going to do a couple pieces of tape and I'm going to run this over my Platinum 6, which is just off camera. It's a bigger die cutting machine with bigger plates, so this will fit through. And before I forget, I did also want to add some little highlights on some of the shells just to add a little bit more visual interest. So I'm going to go through really quickly and do so here. And I know the highlight shouldn't go on the shadow, but my color palette is always on the more light side. That's just my style. You can choose whatever colors you wish, but it's harder to see it on my highlights because they end up being so light. Okay, I'm just going to add a couple more. And this is a size 10. I'll link it below. It's my favorite size. Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and let that dry. It's something that's simple but really makes a difference. Okay, I'm going to zoom out to give us just a little bit more room to play around here. Again, here is my inspiration for that card. And I'm going to trim this panel down to 4. This is just 80-pound cardstock. 4 to 5 1/4. Whoops, I think I got that panel. I think I got that mismeasured at first, but now it is measured correctly. All right, what I think I'm going to do is use my pierced plate die. This is also new from this release. And I'm going to run it through so my background has a little bit of texture. And voila, how cute is that? Oh my gosh, this just got so cute. Okay, and I promise I won't put everything on the same colored card base, but I can't not. I mean, it's just perfect that way. So I am going to set this to the side and then we'll worry about our sentiment in just a moment. All right, grabbing my score buddy. I have 11 by 4 1/4. I will place my center score at 5 1/2. Press that crease down and then let's do some foam tape all around. So we're gonna bump this up, and isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh, I love a pierced cover plate. They are just so pretty. They are quiet in the background, but they provide so much texture. So here we go. Add some foam strips to the back. Okay, then I will center that on my card base, just like so. And then I also want to add some adhesive to the back, but I'm going to grab some foam squares this time. It'll make a little bit easier work out of getting this popped up. And then I'm just going to grab this little weeding hook. Well, it's not really a hook, but it is unintentionally a hook because I bent it. So for me and mine is a hook. All right. I can just place my wreath right down. And let's do our sentiment. Loving this sentiment from another stamp set that was just released. This is their Seashells stamp collection, but I'm loving You Are Special. So we're gonna do that. And I'll just grab my scrap from earlier, use the bottom for my sentiment. One and two. Nice, bold contrast. We'll trim this down, tape this down, and send it through. Now you can cut out multiple layers to really bump this up if you'd like. That way you have a lot of dimension. And I think for the sake of a little bit of depth here, I am going to do that. So why don't I cut that out 2 additional times? All right, I have my precision tip glue bottle here. Needs a little refill, but let's get all of this glued down. So I'm gonna glue my little supporting layers down first. Truly doesn't matter. I'm not even sure why I did it in that order, but that's the way I did it this time. And then I can grab some tweezers to help position this final layer. This is such a fun summery card. I don't really send summer cards, but now I am definitely going to. I've been getting better about sending cards. I know I was telling you in my craft room cleanup that I was struggling a bit with remembering to actually send them off, but now I have some fun summer cards to send to friends. All right, and then we can do something like that. Oh my gosh, I really like it. Okay, so what I'm going to do actually is grab once again, just maybe one. That should fit. And actually I have the smaller size as well, just to help support. And then I'm going to add liquid glue over on the right side, because that will stick down to the wreath area, because we're going to do it just a little bit off center here. All right, let's grab the little liners up and off. There. And do something like, oh, you know what I like though? I like how the P is dipping into this little swell here. So I'm going to do that. You are special. And then look at the L. It's taking the curve of this side as well. Let me zoom in so you can see that. Okay, so the P is kind of dipping down. This is such a happy accident, into this little swell here. And then this L is taking on the same curve as the edge of our wreath. Okay, let's get a little sparkle and shine. I'm going to have fun with this peach one. I think it's so fun to use. That'll die away and not lose it. And what I was thinking would be fun is I'm going to cover up, well, should I was going to cover up these little guys wherever I had a little dot. I thought it'd be kind of fun just to cover them up to add, they're so thoughtfully placed, drawn in, but it would be pretty to put them with a little, I don't know, what do we think about that? So I'm going to go ahead and place those down like that. Okay, and then I still am going to put like one here and need some smaller ones. I'll do just a tiny, I'm going to even tuck it a little bit behind my wreath. 1, 2, just to kind of elongate my card a little bit. And then I'll do the same. This one doesn't have any shine on it. I'll do the same here. Kind of tuck and then add one there. Okay, so there is my second card. I love it, inspired by my first card. And let's go ahead and keep creating. All right, let's circle back to the stamp set that we just borrowed this sentiment for. I really want to do something fun with cascading seashells. I'm getting better and better at it. And I am going to have fun with a lot of fun colors. So what I want to do here is I am going to stamp out, let's see, pink, orange, yellow, teal, blue, purple. Should I do that? Maybe I'll omit the purple. So maybe I'll do pink, orange, yellow, green, and teal. Let's do 5. Let's do 5. So let's do, I did trim down my paper last time. I had to just do a quick trim. I'm going to do this in the order that I want them on my paper. So I want to have fun with mixing up my textures. So let's do a seashell and some coral. Then maybe go back to something circular. Ooh, let's see. Actually, maybe something small. And then circular. I'm not loving the coral. I'm gonna go with the starfish. Loving the coral, but not, I kind of want to keep it more about seashells here and not the coral. So then maybe, well, I like the look of this. Okay, and then I am not sure what I'm going to do. Yeah, okay, well, let's start there. Okay, I think that's what I want to do. Red, orange, yellow, or pink, orange, yellow, pink, orange, yellow, teal and blue, or let's see. Okay. I try to keep as much indecision into my card making videos while still keeping it polished, because I don't want to make you think I just grab something and I'm instantly have this perfect direction. First of all, perfection doesn't exist, which I've slowly learned myself and struggle with daily. But I don't want you to think that any of us really just know exactly what we want to do right away. There's always a thought process or a thoughtful pause where we, well, I guess I should use I statements, where I think things through. Okay, so let's go ahead and color this out. I think that's so cute. I don't think I want any fillers, but if I do, I can always add some in. Okay, I actually decided just to add a couple more seashells, and I'll tell you why. I don't know that I'm going to use them, but I'd rather have them be ready and on standby. I might add 2 more colors, and sometimes when you cut these out, they also trim down pretty small. So I want to, well, I mean, true to size, right? But I end up having more room to play with. So I really want this to span the width of my card. So I just want to have some on standby just in case I need a couple filler seashells. Okay, there we are. I'm happy with that. I'm happy I added the additional colors, and I know now that I see them that I'm going to use all of them. Now I will say, don't color this one green. It looks like a cucumber. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm going to show this card to my kids, and I promise you that they're going to say, why is there a cucumber with the seashells? They're going to say it because it looks like a cucumber in the green. So any other color, it would look like a sand dollar, but Oh, I should also say, you can make these true to life too. I just think it'd be really cool to do more of a rainbow theme. Okay, we're gonna make this bright and fun. And now I'm going to add all of my tape. All right, time to cut them out. Again, I'll use my Platinum 6, which is right off camera, and then we'll get these trimmed out. All done. Let's just pop these out in rainbow order to get an idea for placement. I did switch around my, what did I do? No, I did switch around my starfish because I wanted the starfish to kind of take on more of a center role instead of a side role. So I switched some colors around there. Okay, so there are my cascading rainbow of shells. And now I need to think about what I want to do surrounding everything. So I think I want to do like a sand color, but this is too dark for me. So I might grab some ink and ink blend my own background. Okay, this is already trimmed down to 4 by 5 1/4, and I have, let's make some room. I have some wheat colored ink here. Ooh, okay, I really want that to be really light. So I'm just going to do super soft blending. I want it to look like sand, but just barely. And I can play around with this and even maybe, I'm starting over on the back. No. Okay. Okay, I'm going to need a tap off paper. I can already tell with this color to keep it super light. Okay, there we go. There's the smoothness that I'm looking for. Okay, so then, yes, okay. So I'm tapping it off on my mat, further tapping it on some paper. Ooh, hold on. But I am also going to be putting some waves around here, I think, so that will be covered. That'll just be my whoopsie area. Okay, so if you ever aren't sure about the color cardstock you have, you can just create your own color. Okay, definitely had a whoopsie area there, but that's gonna be okay. Blend it, smooth it out, and then sand, you know, is not gonna be perfect, right? It's not uniform everywhere, so little variations are gonna be just fine. Plus, once we cover this a bunch, we won't see all of it. Okay, so I want to see how that is kind of looking. Stick with me, stick with me. I know it's looking a little messy, but we gotta trust the process. Okay, so we also have these shoreline borders that we could use to create some water coming in. So let's pick out a couple and we can have them kind of coming to the top right. Like I said, we're going to cover that corner, and kind of like this one. Maybe like so, with some blue. So I'm going to take this pretty blue cardstock and maybe do something like that. Yeah, I like that. And I'm going to tape it on the inside like so, so that if my tape rips, it's ripping on the area that I'm not using for my card. Okay, so I have that little piece, and then we have these pieces just like this, and I need to trim them down a little bit as well. But then we have, you know what, hold on. I know, I'm gonna have a white sandy beach. I want to keep it even cleaner. It's just too much for me. So I'm going to put this on white cardstock. If some of you are screaming no at the camera right now, just put yours on a nice sandy brown beach, but I'm going to do a white sand beach. I just think it'll be a little cleaner for my eye. Okay, so that's kind of what that's going to look like. Yeah, that is what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I'm going to use a tape runner on the back side of my little waves here, and then I will trim off any extra that I need to. So I'm gonna line that up right with the corner just like that. That looks good. We're on those white sandy beaches. Where are some white sandy beaches? Oh my gosh, it's not a vacation I've ever taken. I would really love that though. I would really love that. Okay, actually this whole stamp set makes me want to take a nice beach vacation. Let's line that up there. Okay, so I'm not going to trim anything off just yet because I'm going to get all my placement first. And I think with my seashells, I might have them be popped up. So I'm going to grab these foam adhesive squares one more time and pop these up on my card. All right, I am loving how that looks. So now I'm going to take a paper trimmer. You are very much welcome to use scissors. It's just easier for me to do it like this. And I'm going to trim off those extra pieces. And oh, this one has a little bit of adhesive on it. That's okay. Okay, just stuck to my blade. Okay, and then there's my final, ooh, look, and I like thoughtfully placing things off to the side to trim down. It just makes the card look really nice and polished. So let's do a sentiment on this one, and then we will be good for this card. I'm wondering if I can't manage, I was not going to do this, but it's kind of working out the way I want it to say I sure like you right there, but I'm wondering, I'm gonna try to put either that, no, I'm gonna do that. I like the shore. There we go. My images aren't higher than the stamp. I was thinking I had messed that up, but okay, I have been really liking a teeny tiny sentiment lately, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But you can use an oversized sentiment, or not oversized, but a larger sentiment if you'd like as well. I'm carrying a little, oh, I love it. Yep, that's totally the look I want. I'm carrying a little adhesive liner on my thing there. Okay, I like that. So you kind of saw me go a few ways with this card. Some indecision here and there, but I always err on the side of super clean and simple. So that's why sometimes I was pivoting and doing something completely different. Okay, and then what I did is I did a little trio of 2. So I thought that was a really nice way to finish off that card. Also extend a little bit of fun into the actual water, which is nice. And I love how that turned out. So very clean, very simple. And again, you can do a sandy color underneath those seashells as well. It just depends on the look you're going for, but I really like that clean and crisp tiny little sentiment on that white background. I think that looks gorgeous. Definitely my style. So we are at 1, 2, and 3 so far. loving these. Let's keep going. Okay, not gonna lie, I just took a 24-hour break. So we are back at it for card number 3. I really want to use this Beach Fun stamp set with the coordinating dies. I also think I might bring in this summer script die, which will be really fun. So let's start by stamping out the things that we want on our card. So what I want to do here is I'm actually going to bring in several small little pieces to use some of my scraps up. That's what I'm going to stamp on. But over here, I'm going to kind of map out what I want to do. So here's the stamps I'm going to use, but let me bring in this summer script, because what I'm thinking is that summer is going to span across, and then what I want to do is I'm thinking of bringing in some of these little icons and having them kind of sprawl off the card. So maybe something like, actually, I think I might do like this and this and maybe this. A beach ball, and I might even bring some of these back in. Not a lot, but I want to do maybe the starfish. Okay, so I want to do something like this. I think that would be fun. And we'll even see, I'm not sure how we want to play with this, but I just want it to be super fun. Kind of liking these little stars too, to bring in some little fun color. Okay, so I don't know if that's what I'm gonna do, but I'm just kind of getting an idea. So let's bring in all of these little pieces to color, and then we can decide what we're gonna use, what we're not gonna use, and all that jazz. Okay, so let's get these all here. Cling those into position. Do one up here, one here, and I'll tape that down. And I will get these stamped out and ready to color. Okay, so again, following my same color palette. This is just the summery palette that I am really vibing with. And now I'm going to cut all of these out, and I might even do something completely different. That's just kind of the beauty of card making, right? You start and then you start getting other ideas. So I like to get them all cut out, and then we can figure out what we truly want to do. Also, after I get them cut out, I am going to bring in my white gel pen so that we can do a little highlight. Alrighty, let's bring these to life and trim them out. Oh, I think my die for, oh, it's not too bad. It kind of shifted a little bit, but you know what? It's not too bad. Okay, let's get all of these last little pieces out, and now we can really plan for layout. Okay, so we have lots of options here. So I was thinking it could look really cute on a kind of powder blue cardstock, and then we could put summer in the middle. I'm trying to think where I had everything, and it might not be in the exact spot that I had originally had it. And we're gonna trim this down actually quite a bit. Well, we can't do too much. Let's do 4 by 5 1/4. Because our summer die, I don't want it to be too, yeah, that looks good. I'm actually gonna do 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Okay, so if I bring in my images, I just want them to kind of be tossed around this card. Ooh, even that looks good. Breaking up the color as I can. Oh, that really got jostled, didn't it? What in the world was I thinking? Oh darn, that really takes away. You know what I could do though, is have it go off to this side, and we'll just trim that off. Does it look amazing? No. Let's, what happened there? We needed to do more tape, I think. I'm gonna cut this side and perfect that, and then we will just trim off the other side. Okay. That still looks okay. And then maybe something like that. Okay, and then we will have our summer. We could even do summer. Oh, that would be cute too. Summer. Let's see what this looks like out of white. Okay, there are all of our summer die cuts. I ended up doing 4 layers. Now, another thing that we could do, which would be super cute as well, is we can kind of have everything just kind of layered together. Let's disperse some of this color. Kind of maybe even like just kind of as if we're throwing all of these little icons of summer onto the page. Ooh, this is cool too. Like this. And then sprawling summer over it. That might be it for me. That's super cute. It's just kind of like bunching them all up. I like that. Okay, so you can go either way with this, but I think that is super cool. I am going to take a picture so I know how I want that to look. And then I'm gonna glue all of those down. Yep, I'm gonna glue them all down. So we're gonna start here. And I don't think, do I wanna pop everything up? Popping up could be neat. Yeah, let's do that. Sorry, I am wanting to do, this is what happens when you get such cool craft supplies. Sometimes you're just like, I have so many things I want to do with this. which is really cool too, because again, you get one product and then just have so much fun. Make a bunch of things. Okay, now let me look at that picture off camera here. I had this kind of like, ooh, I like it popped up. It's really neat. I'm gonna do 1 and 2, and then I'll probably put some glue underneath the tip of the umbrella. And you know what? We're gonna make a shaker card next. We're gonna do it. We have all those neat shaker ideas. We gotta use them. Okay, so there's the back. I think I had it somewhat like this. Okay, that one looks like that. We have pretty equal margins so far, which looks awesome. And then I'm gonna have this kind of go like so. So I need some glue there, and the rest I can do some foam tape. So this way, I have to kind of think through where everything needs to go. And I have smaller ones, so it's not as, doesn't fall down. And then I'm just going to douse this with glue, and if I get it on a spot that doesn't need to be adhered, it's just gonna dry behind the scenes. So let's do that. Okay, loving it. This little starfish, I liked how we were kind of tucking like so. Yep. So I'm gonna do smaller ones. Let's see, how did I do that? I kind of had it tucked like that, right? I think so. So we'll go 1 and 2 and 3. It's gonna be a crazy cleanup after all of these little adhesive backers. Okay, something like that. Actually, I kind of like the little gap of the glue in there. And we actually might not even use that actually. Let's do this. Okay. And then I know I want this to kind of go down first because I need to hide my whoopsie with my die cut. So I'm going to put this guy down first. Like so. Keeping margin in mind here. We'll do this guy down. I'm gonna rotate it a bit so that the pink is not next to the pink here. I want this under that though. Yeah, that looks good. Margin still looks good. I'm gonna bring that up a little bit because I want to cover that white space up. Okay. And flip-flops. Hopefully you grabbed something yummy to enjoy. I put that on the wrong side. Oh, still gonna be good. Okay, I am really liking that. I'm gonna move that over just a little bit. Cuteness. Now, shovel didn't end up working out. I think I had a star around here somewhere though, but oh, there it is. I loved the star. Oh, you know what? The star kind of looks just kind of cute on its own. I just really liked how the coloring turned out on that, and it's just another fun little shape. So let's put this up right here. Oh my gosh. Okay, layering time. So I'm gonna pop out all of my little middles. Let's move everything we didn't use. Should I tuck in this little guy? It actually balances out that side a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that. Do that and add a tad bit of glue onto the handle. And it also gives a little bit more kind of fun shape. Okay, love it so much. Okay, now I'm gonna grab my tweezers and I'm gonna go ahead and just layer these one on top of the next with liquid glue on the back. So here's all of my little pieces. I'm gonna go through and just add glue dots all over the back. It seems like it takes a while, but it's a really quick little job. Compared to everything else that we've been doing, all the coloring does take a while. Lately, I have been putting that on fast forward for you so that I can watch a fun show while I color. Just keeps the process super relaxing for me while keeping you in the loop with all the info. Okay, let's do something like that. Just get it close enough and then you're good to go. Now, I am adding these layer upon layer, not only just to strengthen it, but more importantly, visually, it gives some super pretty dimension. And then we'll just place this right over our icons. And it is so tiny and thin, this font, that it's not gonna really cover up. I mean, it does overlay, but it's not taking away and covering up things because it's so tiny. You're gonna see all of the stuff right underneath it. But I love that it's kind of like just it reminds me of the thrown heap of stuff that you put in the car for beach day, right? Just let's get there. Let's get there. So many accessories. Okay, and then layer. And another quick way to do this is use a really thick cardstock. I grabbed my 80-pound cardstock because I have, again, a lot of scraps for that. And I wanted to utilize all those smaller pieces that are going unused right now. But to work smarter would be to grab a thicker cardstock. Then you don't have to layer as many layers together. So whatever you have time for, whatever supplies you have on hand, there's ways to achieve the same look with what you have. Okay, summer. Oh my gosh, I love that. That is so fun. So fun. Okay, let's go ahead and glue that down. Love it, bunches. You could also do this. Oh gosh, which way is gonna be cuter? I kind of like it angled. I'm gonna do that. Summer. Tap, tap, tap. Very cute. Okay, now let's go ahead and place it on our card base. We have all the color going on for us right now, so we're gonna put it on a white card base. And you know what? I still need to add all of my accents. So I'll do that at the end. That's why I keep that there, because if not, you saw me, I was forgetting. Okay, I love it. That's so fresh and clean and so colorful. All right, I'm gonna add just a couple little dewdrops around here. I think I'll do that same thing where I do maybe a little grouping of, well, I'm not gonna do little groupings of two. I'm just gonna kind of place where I think, okay, just where I think it needs a little add-on. Do the tiny ones when they're solo, and then I'll do a medium and oh yes, I love that. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Okay, I actually am gonna skip the accents. No, I'm not. I'm gonna do it. I was gonna say I was gonna skip it for sake of time, but you know what? You spend this much time on the card, just finish it the way you want. Okay, and then you know what I'm gonna do on the pail? It's gonna be really faint, but I'm gonna do little stripes. Oh my gosh, so cute. All right, that is where we're taking card number 3. Voila, that card took 50 minutes, but it's so cute. I love how that turned out. Really fun and fresh. So here we are. We have our collection just taking shape. Loving the tone and the palette of these cards. So sweet. Let's have fun one last time and do a shaker. Okay, so I did quite a bit of cutting. So I have a piece of acetate out of my bigger shell. I have a white piece out of my bigger shell. And then I did 4 layers. So we're gonna glue 3 of them together for the back side and have 1 on the top, which you're gonna see this all come together in just a moment. So I'm gonna start by doing all of my gluing. So let's go ahead and glue the layers together, and then, I already had tweezers out. And then we will assemble this shaker. So right now we are just assembling the shaker walls. And the reason I have so many is because I'm trying to build it up without using a skinny foam tape. If you don't want to build dimension with foam tape, you can do paper on paper on paper. It helps build it up so that there is a high enough area for your shaker bits to be able to move around in there. I need to unclog that. I hope that helps. Okay. It's time to refill the glue, clean all the supplies. Okay, so I did three layers of this, this little kind of outline seashell, 1 layer of acetate, and then on top we're gonna do 1 more layer, and this is purely for looks, okay, to cover up all of that glue and make it look nice and polished. Okay, so we're gonna do that, and then we're going to lined up really nicely. I'm going to turn it over, and we built that up so nice that there's going to be lots of room for sequins in there, and I think I know exactly what I want to use. Now you can use any color for the back. I am going to go with, I think, a white background, and you can put it on a variety of things just to see what you want to do. Ooh, that would be so pretty too. Actually, I think I do like this. Let's grab our sequins too, but I will really quickly cut out a seashell out of this pretty turquoise. Okay, so I have these really pretty stars from Pretty Pink Posh that I recently bought, and so what I'm gonna do is just lay this, oh, that's pretty, and see which one I like. I think I do like the blue on blue, and I know I didn't get all of it up here, but it's not gonna matter. It won't matter at all because we're gonna just glue it. So what I wanna do is, let's open this up, just like that. And I am going to place little stars, oops, not that many, inside each of these shaker wells. And I'm gonna be careful that if any get onto the actual top of the walls, that's what I call them, I'm going to make sure that I place them in one of the slots. Okay, that way they don't interfere with when I go to glue down. Let's see if I can do this a little bit more delicately. So every one of these little areas will kind of move on its own, which is so cute. Okay, I like that. And so pretty. So we can kind of even see what that'll look like. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I have some extras that fell out that I'm going to try to get placed inside there. Don't overfill or nothing will move around. And again, if there's any stars up on the top, I'm going to place them down. Okay, so that looks good. So now I'm going to grab my glue once more, and we're going to glue this down. And then we're going to set it under something heavy so that this just sets up really nice. Then again, I know my little top is off, but that's okay because it's just the back side. Line it up. Okay, I'm gonna flip it over. Oh, pretty. So nice and sparkly. Reminds me of Ariel. Okay, line that up really nice, and there is our shaker. Isn't that pretty? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna make a seashell shaped card. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to see how big I'm gonna need that. What I'm doing is just measuring my cardstock real quick. So I'm gonna do that about 3 7/8, but you just round that up to 4. Okay, and then I will trim off my extra. This is a 110-pound cardstock. This doesn't have to be perfect because now what I'm going to do is take the seashell shaped die, and then what I'm going to do also is I'm going to turn this over and place this under this really heavy tape dispenser. That way that sets really nice. And I'm going to make a shaped card. So I already have this folded, again, 110-pound cardstock. Now I'm going to place it so that the top of the shell comes up off, because I don't want to trim off this crease, because that is what's going to allow the card to open and close. So I'm going to go ahead and tape that into position, again, just like that, and I'll run it through my die cut machine. So I went ahead and cut that out once more. Now it opens and folds. It gave that stitched effect on the inside, which I think is kind of cool. So now what I'm going to do is open that up. I'll place my magnet there. And then I'm going to do my glue all over here, just like this. And we'll attach our shaker to the card base. And you can also use, actually I don't need that open, you can also use a tape runner too. Maybe I do need to keep that closed. All right, let's see here. Line this up, just like that. So now we have our seashell shaped card. Try saying that 10 times fast. Okay, press that down. Oh, it's so cute. Okay, now let's do a fun sentiment. Now, would summer look cute on there? That could look really cute. Or one of our stamped sentiments. Yeah, I'm gonna do a couple things. Okay, I cut out the summer sentiment die a couple times and layered it. We're gonna put that on top, but I'm gonna grab that little star that we used in the last one, and we are going to use it to do a fun, probably trio of stars. Yeah, I think that would be fun. Just to kind of liven up and bring a little bit more color to our card. So I'm going to grab this tiny little stamp. I'll color it with alcohol markers. So I'm going to use that memento once again, and I'm just simply gonna move my paper. That way I can stamp this out super quick and then get to coloring. And I can just flip like so. Let's see, that should work. Yep. And like that. Okay, I think I'll do a pink, orange, and yellow to bring some color in. That will be beautifully contrasted on that teal. And that way we can have a burst of color here. Okay, have my little stars colored and trimmed out. Clean that up in a bit. And let's place these. Oh, that was a good choice. I'm gonna put the orange down, and then I'm gonna do a pink and yellow up at the top, just to bring some fun into this card. Trying to get those to reside more on the upper parts of that seashell instead of the acetate, so it has a nice place to land and glue down. And I'll do this one here. Okay, so darn cute. Love it. A little seashell shaped card. Super cute, and it shakes. Love it. All right, so many cute cards 4 of them were made in this video. One of them I made in the unboxing video, so if you want to see how I did that, you can click on over to that video. But I love how these turned out. These are so fun for summer. I'm really loving how this turned out. Oh, I love all of them. They're so fun. And again, we have our little shaped card down here. So I hope you enjoyed watching this and that you're inspired for some summer card making. Be sure to check all the links down below if you want to shop any of these products to add to your craft room. And I'll see you all next time. Let me know which one was your favorite.